Hey guys, welcome back to RWM Finance, and today we will be talking about how to separate your wants from your needs, while also talking about buying assets instead of liabilities. So if you haven't subscribed, please scroll down and click that subscribe button for me, and we will roll right on into the topic. So everybody has things that they want, right? I mean, of course they do. But the problem is that people have a hard time separating their wants from their needs. In my video over why the poor stay poor, I mentioned that one reason why the poor stay poor is because they do not separate their wants from their needs. I also mentioned that when you don't separate your wants from your needs, then you allow yourself to spend too much money on things that are not a necessity. This problem will only create more because spending too much money on your wants will prohibit you from spending money on things that are important, like investing in your future. I feel that making a budget would be a great place to start when trying to separate your wants from your needs. Now, if you don't know how to make a budget, I have actually attached my video of how to save money with budgeting right up above. So I think you should start off by making your budget and seeing where your money is going. Once you do that, after examining your bank statements or financial statements, you should be able to see how much money you are spending on wants and how much money you are spending on needs. Let's clear some things up. A need is a necessity. It is something that is necessary for your survival, like food, water, a place to live, and right now I would even include a car and clothing. The thing is that you're gonna have to have food to eat, you gotta have water to drink, and then you have to have somewhere to live. You also have to have clothes to wear. Now, transportation like a car, that can be iffy for some people. I mean, some people can just use a taxi or something. It just depends on where you live. Some people, a car or a vehicle is a necessity, and some people it isn't. Just depends. Everybody's situation is different. Now, a want is something that is desired to have, but not necessarily something that you need to live. A couple examples would be like TV, Netflix, Apple Music, or other items or services that are not needed. Now, some needs could actually shift into the want category really quickly. Some examples would be like designer clothing, or a really expensive and decked out car or truck, or even a very expensive home or apartment to live in. You see, you might need clothing and transportation and shelter, but there are smarter choices to make than getting the latest and greatest model of those items. I've actually attached a video link up above to my video over Stop Showing Off, which is how to make better choices and save some money instead of getting the latest and greatest models of certain things. See, just because you are able to afford something doesn't mean that you should buy it. And more importantly, it doesn't mean that you need to buy it. Now, I get it. We're going to want things in life. I mean, that's just a fact. But the thing is, the way that we go about purchasing these items says a lot about us. See, the rich go about buying their wants in a much different way than majority of people do. So here's what the rich do whenever they want to buy something that they don't really need, but they really want. They actually start buying assets which they use to produce the income in order for them to be able to afford that item that they want. Robert Kiyosaki, who's the author of the Rich Dad Poor Dad series of books, had a great example of this within his book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Robert was working for the Xerox Corporation when one day he saw a really fancy car that he wanted but did not need. So instead of just purchasing it and going into debt like most people would, he did what the rich do and invested money into assets which put money into his pocket. Another reason that the poor stay poor is because they invest in liabilities which take money out of your pocket instead of assets which put money into your pocket. To be more specific about the assets that Robert invested in, he invested into real estate, which would be like rent houses. After a few years of investing into real estate, his assets that he accumulated started to produce enough monthly income to allow him to purchase his car of his dreams. See, not only do the rich separate their wants from their needs, but they have a different method of purchasing their wants as well. Instead of just going out and purchasing that item that they want, which is actually a liability and will take money out of their pocket, they actually invest first into assets which will put money into their pocket and allows them to purchase that item they want that is a liability, like a fancy car or truck. I'm not saying that you can't ever go out and buy anything that's a want and not a need. However, this is a good method to practice if you are looking to save a little money. But there is a better way of purchasing those want items, which is by investing into assets first and using those profits to purchase those items that you want but do not need. Think of it this way: the more assets that you own, the more wants or liability items you have the potential to buy. I know that not everybody can go out and purchase a rent house very quickly. But, if you can, great, good for you. But I have a challenge for you, that every time you want to buy an item that's a want or considered a liability, put the amount that that item costs into a savings account or an investment fund. Do this challenge for a month and keep track of each time you put money in and how much over that period of time. You will be amazed at the amount of money that you accumulate over that amount of time. At the end of the month, if you haven't invested that money into an asset yet, well, you probably have a good amount that you could actually do so with. So, go get started. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go down, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel below. And if you have any other helpful tips, please leave those down in the comment section. Remember guys that I post a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.